So, uh, if you're serious about modern high-level poker, you know you're no longer just playing against people, you're playing against math.
Right. It's become a mental sport built entirely on rigorous logic and, an overwhelming amount of data.
Yeah, you're expected to analyze thousands of hands, internalize these complex range charts, and you're always trying to decipher the dense language of solver outputs.
And that's the real problem, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's the silent pandemic of the serious poker player, data overload.
Hmm.
You invest all this time, all this money to study, and you end up with, scattered notes. Your mind feels completely swamped, and the sessions just feel like mandatory homework.
Not like productive skill building. The information is there, but you can't structure it.
Exactly. The ability to structure it, absorb it, and then actually recall it under pressure is just, well, it's missing.
And that is our mission today. We are taking a deep dive into what is basically a shortcut to knowledge efficiency.
Mm.
We're exploring how AI summarization tools can transform all that dense poker strategy material from coaching calls to solver, runs into clear, practical, and immediately actionable insights.
We want to help you get well-informed in your study and get
Yeah.
there fast.
Yeah.
I think the central realization here, the liberating part, is that AI lets you shift your focus.
Yeah.
You move away from rote memorization and manual organization, the 90% of study that's just tedious.
And you get to the 10% that matters, the creativity, the in-game judgment.
Exactly. You stop spending hours reviewing old notes and start focusing on consistent, tangible game improvement.
Okay, so let's unpack this. We've all been there. Spiral notebooks full of scribbles, maybe 1,000 screenshots from forums.
Oh, yeah.
Why is that traditional method just completely failing us now? I mean, we need to analyze these huge range charts, maintain game theory optimal principles. The sheer volume seems to have broken the old model.
It has, because traditional methods can only handle information linearly. And if you're studying advanced poker, you're not dealing with linear data. You're dealing with these enormous nonlinear chunks of data.
Like a 3-hour strategy video or something.
A 3-hour video, 50 pages of a PDF, specific solver outputs showing mixed strategies across, I don't know, 6 different board textures. You just can't manually synthesize that amount of information.
So how does AI change that?
It fundamentally transforms it. It condenses those sprawling resources into short, digestible summaries. It identifies and extracts the actionable takeaways that matter. And crucially, it simplifies the most advanced concepts.
And that distinction is huge. It's not just cataloging notes, it's doing the actual synthesis.
Right.
But if I'm dumping in highly technical information, like a huge text dump of my pre-flop defense strategy, how do these AI tools mechanically handle that? How does it know what range balance even means?
That's where the engineering comes in. They use advanced natural language processing, or NLP, combined with machine learning. So you start with step 1, input. You paste your strategy notes, a full coaching transcript, a detailed breakdown from a poker solver. You just put it all into the tool.
And then the magic happens in step 2.
Exactly. Step 2, analysis. The AI doesn't just look for common words. It analyzes the context. It identifies the specific themes that are critical to poker strategy.
So it understands the jargon.
It understands the vocabulary. It spots nuances like ICM pressure if you're talking a final table, or range balance when you're discussing betting. It knows checking here means passing the action, not looking for information.
I see. It knows the difference between general English and high-level poker speak. But here's my skepticism. If I feed it 5 hours of dense strategy, how can I trust it not to miss some crucial, nuanced line of thought?
That's a great question, and it's why step 3, output customization, is so vital. You are the driver here.
So you're in control.
You are. The AI gives you a structured output, but you determine the complexity and the format. You don't just get one wall of text back. You can ask for simple bullet point takeaways if you're just reviewing fundamentals.
Or you can go deeper.
Right. You can demand advanced details focusing only on how, say, the turn card changes the strategic landscape. You can even ask for an actionable list formatted for your specific learning level: beginner, intermediate, or expert.
So by demanding structure, you stop that painful cycle of just rereading endless notes. You start retaining and applying the key points immediately.
It's the direct answer to information overload, which is, the biggest source of study burnout.
Okay, let's dive into the core practical benefits this delivers for the serious learner.
We've identified 5 major ones, and they go way beyond simple convenience. Number 1 is time efficiency.
This seems like the most obvious one.
It is, but the scale is massive. Think about manually reviewing a dense solver report tracking frequencies, noting deviations. That might take a player 3, maybe 4 hours of intense concentration. The AI does that review and synthesis in seconds.
Which frees you up to actually play.
Or just think on a higher conceptual level.
Yeah.
That time saved is mental bandwidth gained.
Okay, what's next? What about memory and cognitive load?
That's benefit number 2, and it's a big one.
Yeah.
Better information retention.
Mm-hmm.
Long, unstructured notes are forgotten almost instantly. Summaries force you to focus on the essential ideas. When you only focus on these clear, punchy takeaways, you just remember the concepts better.
And you recall them faster at the table.
Much more easily, yeah, when you're facing a tough decision with the clock ticking.
And what about those terrifying GTO principles? I know players who just avoid deep game theory because the language mix strategies, minimum defense frequencies, it's so intimidating.
That brings us to benefit number 3, simplified complex concepts. GTO data and solver outputs. They often read like engineering specs.
Right, they tell you what to do, but not really why.
Exactly, not in simple terms.
Yeah.
The AI acts as your personal game theory translator. It rephrases these highly advanced theories into clear, digestible language without losing the accuracy.
Can you give an example of that?
Sure. So instead of seeing something like players should utilize a 40-60 mix strategy, prioritizing 3-bet jamming with A5s, the AI simplifies it.
Okay.
It might say, against this opponent, we mix aggression with caution. Always raise these hands, fold these, and sometimes jam A5, suited to maintain range balance.
That makes it feel approachable, not insurmountable. Okay, let's talk customization. If I only play low-stakes cash games, do I have to wade through tournament strategy?
Not at all. Benefit 4 is personalized learning. This is just crucial for sustained improvement. You can ask the AI to tailor the summaries based on your goals, cash games, tournaments, home games, whatever.
So it filters out the noise?
Perfectly.
Yeah.
It ensures the insights you get fit your format and your current skill level.
And finally, organization. This is usually the last thing a player thinks about until they realize their notes are a complete mess.
And that's the 5th benefit, organized and consistent notes. If you're studying from multiple sources, a YouTube video, a text from a coach, a forum, post-AI, structures all of it into a single, cohesive format.
Which builds a searchable, unified knowledge base over time.
Exactly. It makes tracking your progress and reviewing your strategy so much simpler down the line.
So we've established the why and the foundational how. Now let's get into the specific tools. The sources highlight a few different platforms, and it seems like they're not all the same.
Absolutely not. Understanding tool deployment is the key. Let's start with ChatGPT by OpenAI.
The big one.
Right. Think of this as your raw data processor, your utility player. It excels at breaking down those big, unstructured solver reports, explaining tough concepts in plain English, and generating quick study checklists.
So what's a high-level application? If I've just finished a long hand review session, what's my prompt?
Let's say you have a raw text file from a coaching session about defending against C-bets. You can prompt it. Analyze my notes on defending the big blind versus a button open. Distill the optimal strategy into 5 clear, actionable bullet points.
And you can get specific, like focusing only on mixed strategies post-flop.
Exactly. You get the essence, formatted for immediate use.
All right, moving on. If we've solved the what to study, the next battle is where to keep it all organized. That brings us to Notion AI.
Correct. Notion AI is ideal for organization and long-term session tracking.
How so?
Well, serious players often keep these extensive strategy logs that can span months. Instead of scrolling through an endless essay, Notion AI automatically summarizes those daily notes for you.
Yeah.
It can even create highlight sections.
Can it do more than just summarize?
Oh yeah, a high-level player could use it to track the frequency of their own exploitative adjustments.
Why? How would that work?
Say you keep a detailed log every time you try a non-standard exploit. Notion AI can review those entries and summarize. In the last 30 sessions, you used an overbet bluff on the river 12 times against this player type, resulting in profit 70% of the time.
Wow, that's moving from note-taking to automated performance review. That's powerful.
It is.
What if my learning is more audio-based? Like, I'm on coaching calls a lot.
Then Otter.ai becomes your go-to. It's built for audio learners. It records those coaching calls or study group discussions and instantly turns them into searchable, summarized text with timestamps.
So you get the full recording, but also the Cliff's Notes without having to transcribe it all yourself.
Precisely. It makes every coaching session instantly reviewable.
And finally, for the biggest, densest jobs, those 100-page poker guides or massive raw data dumps from solvers.
For raw power and volume, you'll want to look at Google Gemini or Claude.ai. These are high-power general summarizers, really useful for condensing those extremely long guides or raw outputs that might overwhelm a smaller model.
So that's for the initial heavy lifting.
Exactly. They're great for that first pass on a vast new topic area. You can then feed that polished summary into ChatGPT or Notion for more detailed work.
This all sounds incredible, but the biggest hurdle is always implementation. You can have all the tools in the world, but if they don't become part of a routine, they're useless.
That's right. The routine has to be simple, repeatable, and non-negotiable. It's 4 steps.
Okay, what's step one?
Step 1. Gather your notes. This just means collecting all your materials after a session, hand reviews, coaching feedback, solver outputs, and putting them all in one place. Centralize everything.
And then step two, run the AI summary.
Exactly. Input the content, but remember to be specific with your prompt. Ask the AI to simplify the hard parts or highlight your main mistakes from the session. This is where you build focused study habits.
And step three takes those insights and makes them usable.
Right. Step 3. Turn summaries into checklists. This is a big one. Ask the AI to convert the key points into an actionable checklist or a pre-session reminder.
Like a warm-up routine.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Convert these 5 key points on turn play into a warm-up checklist, something you can run through for 2 minutes before every session. It embeds the knowledge.
And finally, step four ensures this is a dynamic process, not just a static pile of notes.
Review and update regularly. You have to update your summaries weekly with new hands, new insights. This is how you build a continuously improving database of your own knowledge that evolves with you.
Let's use a real example from the source material to show just how powerful this is. Let's take a raw note that a player might scribble down in frustration.
Okay, a classic raw note reflecting that frustration might be something like facing aggressive turn barrels after calling the flop with mid-range pairs, unsure when to continue, tend to overfold against aggressive players, feel lost.
Right. It's descriptive, emotional, and completely unactionable. You can hear the tilt creeping in.
Mhm.
So what does the AI output look like after you ask it to simplify that mess into practical rules?
The AI just removes the emotion and gives you surgical clarity. It generates concise rules. For instance, Rule 1, call turn barrels only when the board favors your perceived range. Rule 2, fold against players with low historical bluff frequency, regardless of texture. Rule 3, use position and blockers as tiebreakers for close decisions.
That is a monumental difference. It's the difference between frustration and confident decision-making.
It is, and that clarity isn't just technical. It has a profound effect on the mental game, which, is the real battleground in poker.
Absolutely.
This is the non-technical advantage. When your notes are clean and structured, your mind is clear. You experience far less stress.
A clear database leads to calmness under pressure.
Right, you manage variance more smoothly, and you make decisions based on logic, not emotion. You're basically offloading all the mental clutter to the machine, freeing up your brain for high-level execution.
So we've covered the incredible efficiencies AI provides, but let's use some critical thinking here. We can't just let the AI do all the work, right? What are the key limitations?
That's the critical context to end on. AI does not, and it cannot, replace real experience, critical human judgment, or the necessary grind of just playing hands.
It's a companion tool.
A highly sophisticated study companion, yes. It's a tool to enhance the clarity of your notes and speed up learning. But if you rely on the summary without doing the conceptual work yourself, you'll be fast, but you'll be shallow.
It supports your learning. It doesn't do the learning for you.
Well said.
And ultimately, the best results are going to come from pairing these tools with other trusted resources coaches, high-quality videos, and most importantly, time at the tables. The AI makes the knowledge stick, but the human has to apply it.
It's about efficiency driving a truly deep conceptual understanding.
And here's a final provocative thought for you to chew on as you start implementing these tools. Don't just ask the AI to summarize what you should do. Use the efficiency you've gained to free up mental energy, and then dedicate that energy to asking more abstract questions. Focus on skills like mastering poker without complex math, and see how these tools can drive conceptual understanding, making you truly confident in your decisions no matter how complex the strategy gets.